everyone. Welcome to day 21. And feeling oddly emotional about all of this. Walking in my backyard here. I'm taking this moment to reflect, right? And as I, there's a feather in front of my tent. I'll pick that up. As I had mentioned in the newsletter I sent out to you, I was thinking of this, 21st day as instead of an ending, actually a midpoint, because the rhythm that we have created is a 40 days rhythm. So I invite you to do the same. This isn't an ending, it's a midpoint, or if you prefer to think of it as another beginning. Almost, I kind of playfully think about it as like a a game of leapfrog or something. This is just a point, and we bound to the next point and the next point. And what is that? What is the right distance between those points for you? Is it every 20 days? Is it every 40 days? Maybe you need it every 4 hours, It's all right. So we're doing this as a structure to notice your relationship with it. What makes sense? What was hard? What was easy? What was challenging and yet still rewarding? What just felt like, well, that didn't work, and what's behind that anyway, right? Just this time, this moment to really reflect and to really peel back the layers. And it's very important as we do that kind of reflection work to start out, at least as best we can, with all our practices we've done every day together. Let me let that plane pass. From a place of non-judgment and a place of non-analysis either. This is an important one, I think, really important one. As best we can, anchoring ourselves in a space of true inner neutrality for the purposes of this, for the purposes of a very, very clear form of reflection that is kind of away from that other space, whether it's a head space or a body space or some combination for you of having an opinion and having those kinds of thoughts and analyses around something. That's fine. That has its place. And it's extraordinarily valuable to be able to check in with yourself on a very, very deep and real level from a different place from time to time. Some of us choose to live from this different place. It's fine if that's not for you, right? And I just want to point out that there are some, career choices, some people, some personalities, again, however you want to frame that it just wouldn't be appropriate to live from that place, right? You're required to hold a strong opinion and to be able to analyze and prove and et cetera, et cetera. That's very, very appropriate for some people and some situations. And it's not necessarily appropriate for others. So anyway, just putting that out there. So let's start as best we can from this neutral together. For this moment, for this practice, for this experiment. And just taking a few breaths in, and maybe by now you've got your favorite way to settle yourself. If so, I invite you to do that. Whether it's with movement or with sound or grabbing a crystal or lighting a candle or laying down or whatever. And you don't even have to do this now as you're listening to this. Maybe you just want to listen through my guiding and then say, I'm going to do that later on my own in a better space at a better time. But I want to hear what this process is. It's very simple. It's simply to settle yourself, which means calming your mind, body, and being. Letting go, as I said, of all thoughts, actually, of all opinions, of all analysis, of all expectations, of all judgment in all forms, of all righteousness. Let go of all of it. And then we simply notice what is here for you. It's really this simple. Reflecting over the 21 days of joy that we've shared. Just forget about how well you did or how much you participated or not. Well, I guess I should say, see if you can let that go. If you can't, well, that's something for you to be with, something for you to be tender around. Ooh, I really can't let that go, can I? That's really hard for me to let go of, let's say, my reality over the last 21 days. I barely participated, and that's hard for me to be with. Again, we're not looking to force anything here, not looking to force any kind of experience, just to be with whatever you notice as you take this moment to reflect. There was an invitation to journal every day, if you remember, way back when. Really simple journaling, 1 word a day. Just write the word joy every day. That was my opening offering. Maybe you did it once. Maybe you did it 4 times. Maybe you did it every day. Maybe you didn't do it at all. Just notice. I posted videos and some writing, a little bit of writing every day with kind of a theme, a couple of words that you could take into your journal practice or just sit with. Just notice if you listened, if you read. If not, it's okay. Did it feel like a chore? Did it feel like a pleasure? Did it feel like a burden? Did it feel like a release? What was here for you? And just let that go. And notice any ways from perhaps the obvious to the very, very subtle that this theme of joy was present for you. Maybe it was in a very literal way. Maybe somehow now, looking back, you realize it was playing a role behind the scenes, even in your unconscious. That happens sometimes. We think we're not doing anything, and yet, actually, the influence is just a little more hidden, a little less obvious. Just notice. And then aside from these practices, this work, take a moment here to just notice, well, what actually happened in your life and in your work and in your families and over the last 21 days. Not a particularly long period of time, but I don't know about you all, but I feel like so much happened in these 21 days. Wow. It's been a bit of a ride. How about for you? Just recall. Just keep it real. Maybe you went on vacation. Maybe you stayed home. Maybe you moved. Maybe you switched jobs. Maybe some big, huge things happened. Maybe there was just a lot of upheaval. Maybe nothing changed at all. What's happened in the last 21 days? Just notice. And breathe that in. And then coming back to the, let's call it the more practical, we had the opportunity to participate in 7 different classes every single week, plus the moon ceremonies. So that was mindfulness, yoga, belly dance, mantra, sound voyage, qigong, and crystals. There was no set expectation from me, at least, that in any way you participate in all of it. I was viewing these offerings as a kind of a buffet. Pick and choose. So just notice what you gravitated towards for this 21 days. Notice what worked for you. Some of it may have been very practical, like you just couldn't make it at this time, but maybe you always listened to the recording for that one thing. Just notice. Well, I think what really anchored me was mantra class. That anchored me. Or whatever it is or isn't. Just take in your experience. See it, honor it. Notice how that feels. And then let's come back to our word. Joy. And simply ask yourself, what is here for me? With joy, in joy, right now. And then you can either just sit here, just be with this, what is here for me right now. Or if it feels right to you, you can grab some tool of translation Maybe it's a paintbrush. Maybe it's a pen or a pencil and a journal. And just maybe describe in some way what is here for you. Translate. What you know right here and right now about joy. And about your personal relationship to and with and in joy. Not necessarily the, big grandiose joy is. The question is not what is here. That's another question. We might explore that sometime. But the question is, what is here for you? And that's different. So make it really personal. Maybe you'll share this and maybe you won't. To take the time to listen, translating in some way. I'll leave you with this process to continue and unfold.